Alternate Indie presents How to Pick Up Girls According to Dating Simulators. Step 1. Never leave them alone.
Well, it was nice hanging out. I gotta go now.
Alright, bye.
I was gonna leave now.
Okay, I'll go with you. Forever.
Step 2. Poke them until they love you.
I can't believe you cheated on me. We're through.
I doubt that.
What are you doing?
Step 3. Stare.
Honestly, I don't know what he sees in her. She's so fake. This is mine now. Are you okay? I'm gonna go.
I see.
And step 4. Wait, actually, I think that's about it. So if you follow these steps, you'll be sure to score a hot date in no time. Let's take a look at this happy couple right here.
My parents were right about you!
Wow, stop it. What are you doing?
Now, back to the show. Dating simulators are an interesting breed of games. Or so I assume, because I've never actually played any. Or rather, I've only played one, and from now on I shall judge all dating simulators based on this one game, Crush Crush, a free-to-play, casual dating simulator. Crush Crush is all about talking to women, flirting it up, and eventually getting those said women to date you. These types of games have never really appealed to me, mostly because I already have a girlfriend. However, I can definitely see how this type of game can appeal to a lot of people. I came across this game when I was on Steam one day. I was looking for games to make a top 10 list of weirdest Steam games, but when I found this one and played it for about an hour, I knew I could make a whole video on it. So let's dive a little bit deeper into Crush Crush and start exploring what makes it so interesting. This game is quite light in the story department, but the writing is very clever, if somewhat strange, and I found myself constantly laughing at some of the girls' one-liners. You start the game off as this fat slob over here, and you need to make yourself attractive and fit enough for girls to actually want to be with you. You meet each girl by accidentally ruining their lives in some sort of fashion, like hospitalizing them, destroying their house, or warping their perception of reality. You know, normal stuff. After you've ruined their lives, it's up to you to pick up the pieces and go from being their mortal enemy to their super hot Antone lover. So how exactly does the game play? Well, like the story, it's very simple, but the style of the game benefits from the simplicity. The objective of the game is to date all of the girls that you meet, and in order to become appealing to them and therefore dateable, you need to poke them, buy them presents, and yeah, that's kind of it. Not exactly the deepest system ever designed, but a bit more variety is added by the fact that each girl has different requirements that need to be met in order to move on to the next phase of the relationship with them. For example, one chick may want someone who's good with computers, so you need to either study computers in your spare time or work as a computer technician for one of the jobs available in the game. There are also points where you need to buy them gifts, like I was saying earlier, such as flowers and chocolates, so you need to make sure that you have enough money saved up from your in-game job to afford these items. When I first started playing, I scoffed at the simplicity of the game, and I inwardly made fun of all my friends who like these sort of games. But unfortunately, I was not careful enough, and I ended up getting addicted to Crush Crush. But not for the reason that you may be thinking. Sure, the dialogue and the sparse storyline are humorous and engaging, but what really hooked me was the progression system. Even though this game is on PC, it's very similar to a mobile game. And by that I mean, whenever you do something noteworthy in the game, a little tick mark is made and you see your character level up and make some progress. And this is true in most any kind of game, but seeing how far you've come and seeing just how far you can still come really engages me when you first start working in the game. You start out at a fast food restaurant and you earn about $2 an hour. However, if you keep up at it, you'll eventually become the manager of the food chain, or better yet, move on to a better paying job like a sports star or a zookeeper. At the beginning of the game, you used to feel accomplished when you made $1,000, but later on, when you see your money count easily surpass 1 million, it makes you feel so powerful and so important. Now let's talk about the main draw of the game, the girls. Oh yeah. A dating simulator is not made by the lovely stat tracking systems that are in place, or the cha-ching sound that the money makes when you earn it, or even the pigeons. I think that will be another video at some point, so stay tuned. It's about the girls. And while trying my hardest not to sound like a huge creeper who's analyzing women, the girls in the game are pretty cool. Each one is visually distinct, and even though their personalities are one note, they're all different notes. We've got this gamer chick who keeps making gaming puns, this chick over here with pink hair who has insomnia, this other one who thinks she's a cat, and a girl who looks like Rainbow Dash. I guess that was for all the bronies out there. And of course, we have our vanilla standard chick, who is there in case you're scared of catwomen, kinda like me. Also, there's a bear, and guess what her name is? Bearverly. Ha! Bearverly, that's a good one. Did anyone else here get that joke? What about you? Indecisive Jonathan. Sorry, no time to talk. I'm a bit tied up at the moment. Is it over and under? Or under and over? Why is this so hard? Okay, good luck with that. What about you, Bear Jonathan? I agree, our political climate is a bit unstable right now. But it's not really what I was asking, okay. What about you? Out of touch with reality, Jonathan? Yo, fool. Oh, shizzle, my nizzle. Dr. Pepper and the drizzle. You know what I'm saying? Hipster Jonathan, what about you? You must have gotten it. I got the joke. But just barely. Besides having a near endless supply of funds on hand, each girl also comes equipped with a stat tracking sheet to help you better learn how to woo and impress them. How exactly you come across this sheet, I have no idea, but games typically do require a bit of suspended disbelief after all. You get to learn their hobbies, eating, yes, I can tell you do a lot of that. Favorite male traits, works at a fast food restaurant, imagine that. Gift preferences, donuts. Nope, you're getting a salad. Careers. Taxi driver. Let's try another girl on the list. And blood type. Okay. A little bit creepy and a little bit out of place, but hey, let's roll with it, right? To summarize, Crush Crush is a very cutesy dating sim game with a very addicting progression system. I wouldn't exactly call it a great game by any means, but it's pretty funny and it might entertain you for a few hours. Or rather, I would have said all of that, but I can no longer recommend this game to you in good conscience, because I learned that Crush Crush has a dark side. Let's upgrade to an edgy PG rating on this channel and compare Crush Crush to your local drug dealer. Sure, he seems nice at first, giving you lots of deals on the latest drug stuff, and generally being a nice guy to be around, or at least as nice as a drug dealer can be. However, once you've been with him for a couple of weeks and he knows you're hooked on the stuff, that's when he drops the act. Prices go up, the goods are harder to acquire, and if you don't have enough money on you, he shakes you down like the mafia until you give him what he wants. Bringing this analogy back to Candy Crush, Bringing this analogy back over to Crush Crush, the bar of entry is very low. Click on this girl 100 times and earn $100 at your job. Sounds easy enough. Progress the relationship with her a bit, and then suddenly a second girl comes along, and she wants the same thing, but just a little bit more than the last. 250 clicks and level 3 swap sounds reasonable. After all, what's a few more clicks and dollars to make this girl happy? Then the third girl comes along and she raises the bar slightly higher, and then another, and then another, and then you start to date a bear for some reason. Each girl requires more from you than the last, and not to mention there are 10 progression levels for each girl that you have to pass, each with higher requirements than the last. Sure, she may only want a seashell on the first date, but just wait until she wants shoes. Do you know how much shoes cost? Maybe $500 tops? Nope, $59 million. Plus tax. And this is only the first girl in the game, the supposed easiest to date. Just wait until you get to the My Little Pony chick, who wants you to buy her 24 alcoholic beverages before she'll even consider being just friends with you. All of this virtual grinding for money and items may seem like a daunting task, and it is, you are completely right, good job. You may be telling yourself, how can I afford to buy a pair of $59 million shoes if I only have the low-paying job of a sexy lifeguard? Okay. Well, fortunately for you, the game has what is called a prestige system, which can help you with your problem. It's basically a New Game Plus mode, where you reset your game and lose all of your stats, but you can earn everything just a little bit faster than before. What the game is telling you is that it knows getting to date even the first girl will take forever, and therefore the only way to make the whole process more bearable bears is to either restart your game multiple times, or you can purchase gems with real-world money. Since this is a free-to-play game, the addition of microtransactions isn't really that big of a deal. The developers obviously need to make money somehow, but it doesn't feel like a fair model, and that's where the problems come in. The entire time I was playing, I was tempted to buy gems, so that way I didn't have to wait 5 hours for my Suave stat to finally reach level 16. Unless you pay with real money, the game becomes a real hassle and a real chore to complete. And the time-consuming nature of the game becomes apparent when you go into Steam logs and see that some people have put over 90 hours into the game. A free game, by the way, a dating simulator game. Free-to-play games like Team Fortress and Dota have a good free-to-play model. They give you a great core game, and if you feel so inclined, you can pay extra money for cosmetics or a ticket to a special in-game event. This game just makes me feel dirty when I think of spending money on it, and I don't like that feeling very much. Maybe the developers could speed up the in-game clock and instead of having us pay for a faster timer, have new outfits for the girls, or new backgrounds or music for the game, because as far as I'm aware, there is one static backdrop and one song in the game, which does wear thin after a while, and some of these girls could use some new outfits, if you know what I mean. Of course, this game is in early access, which means that it's not done yet, and all of these things could possibly happen and change if given enough time. To the game's credit though, you don't actually have to pay a dime to finish the game. You just require saint-like levels of patience. A lot of the objectives in the game can be accomplished by simply waiting, and if you can manage that, then you shouldn't have a problem. During the first few levels, you need to repeatedly click on the girls to create hearts and to cause them to like you. Each click gives you a single heart, and although I said you start out with only 400 clicks for the first girl, by the time you reach Cat Girl, you need to click her strangely shaped face 10,000 times to reach level 3. Out of 10, may I remind you. Besides wearing out the clicker on my mouse, it also gave me carpal tunnel. Oh yeah, I cannot wait to start clicking on some girls. I think I'll rephrase that next time.
If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do is to save.
You've reached level 2. Good job. Forget this. I'm going outside. Okay, that didn't actually happen, but my clicker finger was legitimately sore for about a day afterwards, and that's the first time any game has ever done that to my hand. However, this is supposed to be a positive point, so after the first few levels, the hearts start to move up automatically, and you can spend all of your new time icing down your poor finger or turning the game off. Because it also tracks your stats and gives you hearts and money even when you're not playing. I'm sorry to say this, but I really exploited this game mechanic. I would check up on a girl, see what she needed, let's see, a level 15 in tenderness and $4 million worth of chocolates. Right before I went to bed, I would rearrange all my jobs so that I was only doing objectives that would focus on tenderness and money making. I would come back 8 to 10 hours later to see that I had lots more money and the required tenderness level. I would proceed to move to the next level with the girl, see her new requirements, change my stats to work towards those things, and then go make a sandwich or something for another few hours. Although I only spent about 3 hours in-game playing, I collected stuff offline for about 36. So even though it's not recorded through the Steam time tracker, you'll be involved with this game for a while. And remember, this was all done just to finish with the first girl. Don't even get me started on everyone else. Let's actually do some math quickly. So overall, being able to date the first girl, Cassie, took roughly 39 hours. Now let's assume this amount of time is standard for everyone playing. And if we check on this guy here, who has 102 hours in the game, 36 divided by 30 means that for every hour of actual playtime in the game, I spent about 12 hours having the game play itself in the background. So if we take 102 and multiply it by 12, we can see that in order to fully beat the game, you need to invest a grand total of 1,224 hours either into playing it yourself or having it run in the background. Wow. Math really does make everything seem evil, doesn't it? It's been a long and arduous journey, but now we've finally reached the ending for the first girl. We've spent hours working at our bounty hunter job, we've reached buffness level 16, and I've bought at least $50 million worth of merchandise for this one girl, my first flame, Cassie. Now I can finally confess my true feelings for her. Oh, I can't wait to see what happens. Maybe there will be a cool cutscene of us walking into the sunset together. Or maybe she'll have several paragraphs of dialogue telling me how utterly hot and awesome I am. Or better yet, maybe she'll just buy me a $42 million pair of shoes. Honestly, I'm good with any of those scenarios. That's it? Where's the cutscene? The rewarding dialogue, the stat booster, or the reward for completing such a huge segment of the game? This is one of those kinds of games where the journey is greater than the destination. I won't lie though. I had fun working my way up to the lover status with Cassie, and I obviously was obsessed with how high my stats and money were. But ultimately, I don't feel like the game had any sort of long-lasting payoff. Once you're dating Cassie, she doesn't do anything. She just stands there with hearts in her eyes and gives you slightly inappropriate pickup lines. The game occasionally rewards you for hitting relational milestones with the girls by giving you still shots of them in scantily clad clothing. But that doesn't really accomplish anything. That's just an excuse for someone to start lusting after fake virtual people. Or bears. Remember, ladies, modest is hottest. Well, Crush, we had some fun times together. You made a lot of jokes, I laughed at a few of them, and yeah, it was pretty cool. However, I just couldn't shake the feeling that you only wanted me for my money, and I don't roll that way, sister. Sorry. However, I did enjoy that I was allowed the chance to finally live out my dream as a sexy lifeguard. That was pretty cool. And with these things in mind, guys, I'm giving Crush its final score of a Scrooge McDuck out of 10. The game looks innocent enough at first. You may be thinking, aw, why would a talking duck ever do anything to harm me? But if you're not careful, he'll steal all your money and take off with it into the night. Once again though, the game was a fun time, and even though I don't think I'll be visiting the dating simulator genre ever again, except maybe for that pigeon game I was talking about, I do see how people could enjoy the game. It's free on Steam if you want to try it out, but just remember to keep your credit card away from yourself while playing. You'll thank me later.